Today, I'll be showing you how we will be entering uh, what will now be called an expense report or an ER. You might hear it be called for short. This will take place of the current travel vouchers that you all currently do on basically on spreadsheets. So all this will be done electronically through PeopleSoft, and this is PeopleSoft Financials. Right now, you're familiar with PeopleSoft HR, but this will be PeopleSoft Financials. So I'm just going to start by showing you how to get into PeopleSoft Financials. We'll go to in.gov, which is where you currently go for to find your uh, time sheets. So state employee, and here's your PeopleSoft HR. You'll go to PeopleSoft Financials. Log in. Hi. This should take you to this page, Employee Self-Service. You may not see as many tiles, these are referred to as tiles, as I see, but you will certainly see expense, um, the expense tile, and maybe the travel authorization tile. So for this, we're going to go to the expense. And then this will take you to this page with these tiles on it. You will see all these tiles. This is where we'll go to create a new one. And then later we'll go into this tile, and this is where you would go to see your expense report, once you've submitted it. So we'll go ahead and go to create expense report. Here we're going to fill out, this will be business and state. And for meat and poultry, this is probably typically what you'll enter, business and state, unless you happen to be traveling out of state. Then you might have a different one here. But we're going to try to just go through very basic, just for mileage in this video here. So we'll have business in state, and then for your description, we'll want to start with BOAH. Then for you, we'll do meat and poultry inspect, and then the date range of your 2 weeks that you've been traveling. So I'm kind of using someone's travel voucher that has been turned in, so I'm just going to use those dates. So for this one, it's going to be 11. It's like it doesn't like how much I put on there. To play with that. Make sure we have enough space here. Okay. My default location, I'm going to be Indianapolis. So for this search criteria, I would be sure to use the description search criteria. You don't have to put a lot to get enough in there to find what you need. So here's Indianapolis. We do not need to fill out the reference. And then here's going to be your accounting chart fields. So this is currently what you put in the spreadsheet, like your 61700, the project that we put in, those sorts of things. So I have went out and I have set up defaults for all the meat and poultry um, staff. So this should already be set up for you, unless for any reason you would need to change it to like the CIS project, you could go here to change that. Now for mine is not set up. I haven't defaulted mine, so I'm going to go ahead and enter the information. You'll notice over here that the accounting default or details, I'm sorry, always go to show all to see everything on the screen. Otherwise, you're going to think there's stuff missing. So as I said, these are those same chart fields that you see that you already enter on the spreadsheets that you submit today. So once you're done with that, you can hit done. And then down here on expense report action, this is always going to be add expense lines. And that takes you into the, I'll say the expense report. So on this page, this date is going to be the date that you traveled. So in this case, we're going to start with 11/27. You can do this two ways. You can either just type it in, or you can go to the calendar here. So 11/27. The expense type here is going to be the mileage. So domestic mileage. And then you're just going to put a description in here. So for this, you can just say travel from your post to J and W. Okay, here you're going to have the address. So in this case, the address where you started, so your post, and then your ending address, whatever J and W meatpacking would be. So in this case, we have Now, I will tell you in this area here, it could be a little finicky on what it'll take. The instructions say to make sure you have your commas in all the correct places, which actually I think I need one right here. Or whenever you go to hit the calculate GPS distance, it might not recognize it. So if you find that you're having issues getting your address to come in or to come up, just reach out to me and I can take a look at it and we can see, what's going on. One thing I would suggest for you all to do is maybe have a Word document that you keep all of your facilities that you go to, your post, keep those addresses so you can easily go to that Word document, copy from that Word document, and just paste it into these fields, and then hopefully it'll make your life a little bit easier when it's all said and done. So here it did take it. It shows that that's 56.69 miles. Then down here at transportation ID, this is always going to be IDOA, and this is by entering it's going to automatically pull up the correct mileage rate. Down here at payment, for mileage is always going to be employee paid. And then this is always going to be in-state billable. This should be in-state billable. So here again, we're going to do our original location. So in this case, my original location was this Zanesville. I would suggest searching it because this can be a little bit picky on uh, finding the exact location. If you find when you go to search this, it is not coming up here, um, they could, the system may not have the location in there yet. So if that's the case, let me know and I'll have to submit a ticket to get that added there. So then this is going to need to be Peru. So always use this second description, so that's pulling over here. Otherwise, up here, it's going to pull from here, which is obviously a little bit harder to figure out what that's going to be. Here has another opportunity to look at your accounting. So at the beginning, we put kind of, I guess, a more default or generic accounting. This you can go into if you happen to have multiple locations that you're going to, and maybe some are CIS and some are just the regular meat and poultry project. Again, show all. This is where you could change that information. So you could go here and find the CIS. This has all projects that are out there. So you would just click on this if you wanted that project instead for this for that particular travel. Okay. Personal expense, no, and receipt, we'll go ahead, and that's going to be no. Now you can, if you need to change this mileage, say you had a detour for whatever reason, you can go in here and change it. And then it's going to ask you to put some reasoning why you change that number. So you just say something, something along those lines. If you notice those flags, if you see any flags, if you click on those, they should let you know what it is that the error is or what they think the error is or warning. So just click on those and they'll give you more information. Okay. So that's one line. We're done with that one line. So for each day, for the most part, you're probably going to have at least 2 entries, there and back, but you could certainly have more. So over here, we're going to go to, we can add it. You can also go here and more. You can also copy it. So if um, you do the same trip multiple times that week, you can just copy this, and then it'll enter that same information, and then you'll just have to update like your dates and things like that. So okay, go back in here. So we still have the one day. So I'm just going to go to add. I'm going to do the same date, showing me returning from this trip. So you'll probably have this under frequently used, so you don't have to go through and look for the one expense type. So now we're going from so we're just doing the reverse. calculate our distance. Go to IDOA, employee paid, and state billable. Zanesville. Okay, so we got our second location, our second entry for that day. Again, we can go to our accounting, make sure that that looks right, show all. So the fund, project, or activity, do done. Again, if you have more of them, or if you would want to, again, copy, if the next day you did the exact same trip, you could just click on both of those, say copy. So I'll do a new date on this one. So there's already got those in there. It updated your date. And as long as everything was the same, you don't need to change anything on there. It's all in there. So hopefully that makes life a little easier. Okay, so we'll say we're all done with this entry. Of course, you're going to have a lot more entries in this if you're doing it for the 2 weeks and you travel every day, but I'm not going to go through and enter them all. So at this point, you will you'll save it. You can save often as you're going through that. I know this is the first time I've saved it, but you can always save at any point. We'll do review and submit. If you want to go through any of this information to look over it, but I mean, we already looked at it over there. You can take note of this report ID, because this is how you'll be able to find it again. So we'll go ahead and submit, and then you have to submit again. And then this one is out there ready to approve. See, there's all the information. So, okay, if we go back to home now, go back into this expense tile. So here, prior to, there was nothing in here. Now that we have one, we can go ahead and click on the expense report. And here's our information. So because this is me doing this, my first approver is going to be Gary. So go ahead and click on that, and here's where you can see where the approval is. So I know, now whenever you have a travel voucher out there and you're not sure what the status is, now you'll be able to go out here and see who has it. So the first fiscal approver is typically going to be me, but because this is my expense report, it shows Gary. So this will typically be me, and then your supervisor will be here, and then Brenda will be approving, and then down here at AOS, this will be the final step. If you click on this pulled, it'll show a list of people who would be approving that. If you happen to get through any of these steps in the approvals and decide for whatever reason, hey, I know I did something wrong on this, you can contact the person who is ready to approve it. So in this case, it would be Gary. And you can ask them to send it back. So they would send it back. You actually get an email that says that they send it back. And then you would be able to go back in and make some changes that you need to make. And then resubmit it. So that is a possibility. So that is, in a nutshell, the process of entering the um, expense reports for your mileage. Um, there are ways that you can delete them. There are ways that you can withdraw them. See here, right here, you see the withdrawal, so that you can go back in um, and make changes if you need to. I've got um, a written up manual that has all this information in it for you to use to as a guide as you're entering these. So I will definitely send that out to everyone um, in for them to use as your guide. I think that's everything. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Um, I will be able to help. Um, I know this is going to be a little bit of a process, a little bit of a learning curve. So as I said, if you have any issues, just reach out to me. We can go over it together. If you have any issues with getting them approved, I can help you with that process. If I need to reach out to someone to, move them along. Um, I know this is going to be a different experience and process, but if we all are patient and willing to learn, um, I think this will be a successful process. I believe the new system will be a more efficient way to enter the travel expenses. Um, you will not have to wonder if your supervisor got the email and if they moved it on to get it paid. You'll be able to track this information yourself. Um, remember, this is new to me also, so I'll be learning as you learn. So any questions you might have, someone else probably has that question too, or I might have that question, so don't hesitate to contact me um, with any concerns as you're filling these out. And also, the IDOA is still, working on kinks and trying to see if there's things that they could maybe do better. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. Hope it helps you in the process of do, doing the new expense reports.